Well, good morning, community. Welcome to Stroke of Genius Podcast Survivor Experience. Today is a solo show for me today. I'm doing myself. But I want to tell you something. Something that's with the only time to lose you. I see my banners up on. I'm going to be sharing with you today, today's video, the one and only time I think you should look back at your life as a stroke survivor. You will hear me time and time again. Don't look back. Don't look back. Don't look back. The only reason being is that most survivors look back and then get almost depressed because of all they lost. But I'm going to be sharing with you today when you should look back and what you should look back on. So let's get to it. Welcome to Stroke of Genius Podcast Survivor Experience, where I believe mindset is the foundation of your recovery. I'm your host, Avila, a 13-year post-survivor of a brain aneurysm and stroke. Join me now as I share survivor stories of resilience and triumph from around the globe. So without further ado, let's get to it. Hey, good morning, stroke survivors from around the world. Thank you for being here and watching the replay. Thank you. I want to stop, pause, and say thank you to Jamie Parrish, who is out there from the United Kingdom, and my brother has been there every show pretty much. So here's a shout out to you, Jamie. Thank you for being out there, bro. I appreciate the support. I really do. But this podcast wouldn't be here without you showing interest in me, allowing me to help you and to share my experience with you. I mean, the reason I built this podcast so you get a platform to come tell your story, hear the stories of others, be inspired, and also maybe some tidbits, tips, and tricks I've learned of the last 14 years of being stroke survivor. Yes, let's hit 14 years. So today's show is kind of unique, and it goes kind of against what I've always said is don't look back at your life. But there are times. It dawned on me just a few days ago, there is a time that you do look back. And so today's podcast is the only time you should look back at your life. When is that? When is that? When is it helpful to look back? I'm saying the only time you should look back is to see how far you've come. Let me repeat that, the only time you should look back at your life is to see how far you've come. Something I wanted to share with you, some things where I come from. And what you see now is nothing like it was before. So I'm going to tell you a little bit, share a few things that I have gone through that I've overcome that are different today completely. 14 years ago, I survived a massive brain aneurysm, and then 2 weeks later, when I had a stroke, when I coma, I had a stroke. I can remember that time and that period of my life as if it was yesterday. So when do I look back? Well, what do I see when I look back? Don't look back at what you lost. Look back only to see how far you've come. Let me repeat that. Look back at your life only to see how far you've come. I mean, it's easy for us to see all the things that we have lost, the abilities that we have lost. But I want you to take time today to remember who you were when you first had your stroke and where you are at today. How much have you celebrated those spots in your life where you've overcome? I'm gonna tell you straight up. When I first woke up from a stroke, I couldn't even hold my head up. I could not hold my head up. You'd flop down, flop sideways. There's a special wheelchairs, pump my neck up. It's not good. So as you see today, I hold my neck up just fine. That's great. So let's celebrate that win. I can hold my neck up. Not much, the average person, but to me, as a stroke survivor, it's a big one. And you may not know, on the other part, I woke up from a stroke totally mute, totally locked in. I can remember those are probably the scariest times of my life was when I was mute. I could not tell my wife I was totally scared. I was terrified. What happened to me? I was woke up in the hospital. I didn't know what happened. But I was totally mute. I couldn't speak. I now host two podcasts. I best start TV media. Things have changed. You know what? I'm celebrating that today. I actually can talk. I'm actually blessed enough to be able here with you right now and communicate. I may sound a little like Elmer Fudd, but hey, it's better than being mute. I tell you, for those who don't know about lockdown syndrome, I could be being locked in. I could think, I could see, everything was around me. I could see it was going on, but I couldn't say a word. I was mute. I was locked in. Terrifying. Absolutely terrifying. Can you imagine? Wake up in a hospital, totally mute, unable to move half your body. It was terrifying. But the hardest part is I'm mute, locked in, couldn't speak. Guess what? I think it's pretty obvious now. I'm talking. Not great, but hey, I'm talking. I'm able to host two podcasts a week, so we'll celebrate that win. What I want to encourage you to do today, stroke survivors, pause. Take a think back at what you were like when you first had your stroke. Look back and see how much you've improved, how much you've actually changed over a period of time. I just said I was mute. Now I'm talking. I was two podcasts. I remember when another thing I couldn't do. I couldn't hold a mouse on a computer. I could eat a low pointer. I would bounce all around. I couldn't hold it. I was like Richter scale. Just could not hold the mouse on the cursor on something. But I can now. That thing they also told me. They tell my wife, if I do make it up through this brain injury or stroke, I'm going to wake up and be a drooling, babbling mess. I'm going to be totally bedridden and, I'm diapers changed, all that. Well, guess what? I'm not. So, again, looking back, only to see where I've come, how far I've come. So, again, I encourage you, only look back to see how far you come. Don't look back and regret because you lost abilities. You lost things, no doubt. You will never be that same person again. And if anybody out there has told you will be, they're misinforming you. They should not be telling you that because stroke recovery, stroke rebuilding, as I call it, is a lifelong process. But I celebrate the time. I can now look back and celebrate those times I've changed. So I want you today again to look back and go, man, I used to not be able to hold my head up. I used to be able to not speak. I was mute. I thought I was one of the few people that you've heard ever say they've been to their own funeral. I have been to my own funeral. I was told, but I was in the ER as my brain aneurysm exploded in my brain. The doctors and nurse, they wheeled me into a separate room and told my family to come say goodbye to me because I wasn't going to live. That was 14 years ago, peeps. They told me I would not live, baby. A Julian battling mess. Not true. Boy, I've come a long way. I'll celebrate that win. I think it's really important, something I've not done, that I want to encourage you to do, is pause, look back, and celebrate any win you have. I don't care if it's twitching your finger. Celebrate that win. See, great job yourself. Give yourself a high five in the mirror, whatever it takes. But you celebrate those wins. Keep you going, keep you motivated, and you realize you're changing. A lot of your change comes not necessarily instantaneously. I've been a stroke survivor for 14 years, and I'm still seeing a little bit of change. My left hand, I mean, I think it's pretty cool. I never used to be able to raise my shoulder up like ever. I'll celebrate that win. I never used to be able to move my shoulder like that. So I have talked. I was able to hold my hand up. Um, I count things. I forgot some of them. But anyway, bottom line is, the only time that you look back at your life, I want you to look back how far you've come. Because I guarantee you, if you're a stroke survivor, when you first had your stroke, look at yourself objectively and say, man, I can do that. Now I can. I can do that. Now I can. Hey, I'm getting better. It takes time. Brain injury takes a long time to heal from, but it does happen. So, like I said, just look at your life. Look at the weed where I look like a deer in headlights. And I looked at a picture just the other day with me standing around with my family. I was the only one that mouth half open, have eyes. I looked at, just before you hit that deer with the car, or the deer freezes, eyes wide open, deer in headlight look just before. Well, I looked like that right after my stroke. In fact, I looked like that for months after my stroke. I don't think I look like that anymore. I'm very thankful. So celebrate that win. But I think it's really important to celebrate the wins, to remember how far you've come. So many times in the day in, day out survival mode we get in, we forget to pause and take inventory of our accomplishments. We forget to pause, celebrate those wins. So today I want you to take some time yourself. And I want you to congratulate yourself on those things you could do now that you couldn't do before. I mean, a big one, because at the beginning of this podcast, was speaking. I can communicate now. Not well, not like I used to, but I can communicate. So I'm just saying, if we look back and we look back at where we come from, and then we look back, we look where we're at today, it's a big difference. So many times stroke lies to us. I mean, if I were to describe stroke to you, I would say it's this big, billowing black cloud, burning eyes, flames coming out of its eyes, flaming, just dark, evil energy. That's what stroke looks like to me. It will lie to you. It'll tell you that you're not worth anything, that you're nothing more than a burden. Listen, it's a liar. Stroke is the enemy. Stroke lies to you. I am telling you right now, I'm telling you the truth. You're 100% viable. Doesn't matter if you can move your left arm, right arm, doesn't matter what you can do. But you, as an energy being, are valuable just the way you are. And I assure you, the way God is, I met my near death experience. If you'd like to be my near death experience, please message me in the chat. Let me know. And I'm more than happy to share my near death experience with you. But, you know, I come different, long way. But I think it really is important that we as a community celebrate those wins, celebrate those little accomplishments, those little things. Doctors told me I would not live 14 years ago, said I would die for sure. Well, they were wrong. Don't let anybody tell you what you can or can't accomplish as a stroke survivor. Stick to your dream. If you feel like I do, it's been 14 years. I still feel like I'm gonna walk someday. I have vision of walking someday, a dream walking someday. And my biggest goal is to the reason I wear this hat is to ride a horse someday. I'm not gonna give those up. I don't care. Bear with me. Hopefully, I will. My goal is to accomplish them. So I want you to put in the chat those things that you couldn't do back when you first did your stroke, and you can now. Put in the chat what you used to be like, what you are now. And then we will celebrate together. I will be celebrating with you. I'll be happy for you that you changed, that you actually rebuilt that area of your life. But you know, do not get stuck. Do not just survive. Let me tell you, there is a big difference between surviving and thriving. There's a difference between a stroke survivor and stroke thriver. I didn't want you to think that there is everybody survives. I went through years of survival in the beginning, years of it. And then at some point, I began to realize I'm a thriver. I began to build stroke TV media. I began to host podcasts. I began to use my stroke to help other stroke survivors, brain injury survivors. And it's been an incredible, great ride. I love it. So I am telling you, you don't have to sit there and just contemplate how messed up you are. Take your story, take your stroke, make it story. Take your stroke and make it your superpower because there are stroke survivors all over out there that need to hear from you. They need to know that they can make it. How many of us sat there? I don't know, but the reason I built Stroke TV Media is because I would come onto Facebook, so-called stroke support groups, that based all the value on how much movement they get back, how much it can be like they used to be. Here I was, half paralyzed, settling down for really top bad. So I guess according to them, I had no value. But in reality, I was alive. I was there. I was present. I'm with you. That was value. So don't let stroke lie to you, say you're valueless. You're not valueless. You are beautiful and loved just the way you are. Oh yeah, you may get your caregiver a little upset, maybe pissed off, like I do my wife sometimes. But you know what? We're here, and I'm here together. And even though stroke tells me I'm nothing more than a burden, it's not true. In fact, in my frustration, let's be real. In my frustration, my feeling like a burden, I would say things in my anger. Better off I died. That's not true. It's not better off I would have died. My wife would have been without a husband. My son would have been with dad. I'm just saying it's not better off your dad. So let this kind of spur you on too. See, I'm not a big advocate of the word recovery, although I do use them once in a while. I'm really a proponent of what is more accurate. It's called rebuilding. I believe as stroke survivors, none of us recover. None of us recover. Anybody that tells you recover and be like you were before your stroke, all right. But I do believe that you have the opportunity to rebuild your life, not recover. Not like you recover from a cold or broken bone. You can actually build your life the way you want it, better than you were before. I'm rebuilding my life better than it was before. I had never, ever helped people around the world like I do now. It's amazing. I love it. I love helping stroke or brain injury survivors. It is great. Had I not had a stroke or brain injuries, a brain aneurysm, I would have never known it. So I'm just saying you can embrace what has happened to you, embrace your struggle, and it can become a story, and you can help other people around the world deal with the very same things. See, you got to remember what you were like in the beginning of having a stroke. Wouldn't you want it someone to walk into the room like me or other stroke survivors to walk into your ER room, your intensive care room, and see you gotta make it through this and comfort you and spur you on and inspire you? You can do that. In fact, I'm going to post in the description of this video a link you can register as a guest on my video. I want to have you come on my show, on my podcast, and tell your story. Why is your story so important? Because it inspires other stroke survivors around the world that there is hope after stroke. See, there's a thing in my book called Stroke Survivor. I picture the stroke survivor like a man in the middle of a vast ocean, kicking, 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 keep his head above the water so the survivor. And if he stops kicking, well, he sinks, he drowns. That is the survivor. Now a thriver takes his stroke, not just kicks, but kicks so hard he's able to fly out of the ocean. I'm just saying you can become a thriver. You have a superpower, you just don't know it. Your superpower is your stroke. It is the things you've gone through in life as stroke survivor, and that superpower you can share with other people. And they so desperately need you to talk to them, to encourage them, to inspire them. So you don't realize you actually can do what I do. The only difference between you and me is that I put myself up there. The only difference now, because she's a survivor, is stay where I'm at and can't tread water, can't water. But I decided to step out of my comfort zone and do what I'm doing, what you see right now. I'm no different than you. I'm no different than you, Survivor. The only difference is I came out of my comfort zone and began to go live and do podcasts, tell people. I can remember I told my mentor at the time, he died of, I think he had 4 strokes. He died of 4 strokes. His name was Roland Takoka. And I remember saying, Roland, I can't do a podcast. I mean, it's my speech deficit. I have a speech deficit. I can't do it. And he goes, the way you speak, if you step out and put yourself out there for people, the way you speak will become a known trademark of yours. And it really has become a known trademark of mine, the way I speak. I make fun of myself, call myself Elmer Fudd, but in reality, hey, it's better. The way I speak is better than not. Take me out, I've been there, done that. I don't, the be mute is absolutely terrible. Nothing more frightening. So I want to encourage you today is look at yourself differently. Look back at who you were when you first had your stroke and where you're at now, what you can accomplish now, what you can do now. Guarantee you change. I want you to come on my show, come tell your story. I'll put, like I said, I'll put the link in the video description. Come tell your story and use your struggle as your story. You know, the old term, I found my purpose in my storm. Well, I did. I found my purpose in my storm. So today, I want to look at yourself in the mirror and just say you're valuable. Once you talk to yourself, tell yourself you're valuable and you're loved. And I don't want you to view it, please. Subscribe to Stroke TV Media YouTube channel. It'll really help me get high-end guests on the show in the future. If you would subscribe to Stroke TV Media YouTube channel. I have many pages. You want to know what I have, what Stroke TV Media has for you? Put it in chat. You want? I'll send you a link in chat. You want, but know what we've done. But here we are. We're down near the end of the show, but I can't believe podcast episode. But I want to remind you that today is the day your life could change. Today is a day you could make a decision to change the way you think. Change the way you think about yourself. Because you are lovely, you're precious, you're valuable. Stroke survivor, brain injury survivor. Do not forget that. Really, really important to remember. Wake up every morning happy to see yourself. I know it's hard. I know it's very hard. Very hard when your caregiver gets frustrated. Like if you're like me, you do some dumbass shit, or that you overreact or something. But it's all just a rebuilding process. We're in the rebuilding process. We're in the process of rebuilding. When you look at the house being framed, it does awesome instantaneous to become a house. Stick by stick, piece of wood by piece of wood becomes the house. And that's your life. Your life is stick by stick, one foot in front of the other. Just keep putting one foot in front of the other, and you'll find victory and happiness and joy and fulfillment. Come help me. I need volunteers to help me on Build Stroke TV Media. I'm working with Sherry Patterson on a project. Her and I are trying to get a Stroke TV Media volunteer group together because I definitely could use help. But one, again, I'll see you next week, every Wednesday, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, and tell a friend, I'm here to serve you. You want a particular subject or topic, let me know in chat and I'll do it for you. But everybody, have a great day. We're over. It's time. Love and enjoy. Bye.